Three, two, one. Saturday morning, Grasshopper for Rhino. That's my intro. Everybody's up. Well, not everybody, but the goats are up. Chickens are out. I know you're excited to be here with me. I'm going to show you a little bit to do with a little bit of maths. It's a nice, simple script, and then we'll take it into some more complex things. Think I'm beginning a advanced Trig Grasshopper for Rhino scripts. They're not that advanced, but this one's going to take you a little bit of a number game. Here we go. What we have is an object, and a pretty parametric object. So let's go and let's play with it. What can we do with it? I'll show you how I built it mathematically, trying to stay to the math. So basically I have nice number control over this curve, the length of it. You can see it's been extruded after it's been made a surface from a loft. Maybe you can see that. I have quite a bit of control over it, making some forms that I like. I'm kind of looking for a winged form because they're kind of beautiful. You can really have some power over controlling this. You can see that. Top, front, side view. I've got a little bit of a pulling and pushing it in the Cartesian plane, and I'm not sure what that number slider does. We'll get to it in a minute. Ends of my domains aren't going to matter at this time. And then my extrusion, which is to the normal. So I'm going to show you the script and how simple it actually is. So you've got your number sliders to play with. You're going to have to build domains. And that's exactly what you do. And I put them in the 4 different series. And what I do that's interesting after doing that is I manipulate them to points. This set, all I'm doing is going into the expression tool and having a lot of fun with it. So you'll head up here to the maths. You'll jump into the expression tool, this one. You pull it in, double click on it, and you've got everything you want to do. And I'm just staying to some simple trig functions, sine and cosine. And it'll tell you the format, and you can start, instead of sliders and instead of bringing in the multipliers and additions and all that, you can write it right into your script yourself. And if you don't quite follow this, don't worry about it. Take my script, play with it, change the number counts by double-clicking, and whatever you want to do. If you want to add 2 and then multiply that in, go right ahead. As long as it says no syntax errors detected in expression, you're good to go. And you hit OK, and we should have changed the geometry a little bit. And there you go. A little bit was manipulated. I'll go back and you'll see what happened. At least I thought I would. Control Z. Maybe the Windows is a little different than that. Command Z. Well, either way, I write most of these scripts in on my Mac, so I avoid a lot of plugins. I'm going to go back, and there you see there's just a little change in that geometry. Those said, you've created your points. If that's what I've been trying to teach since the beginning of this, is go into your points and go deeper beyond that. Don't start with your points and start building interpolated curves and surfaces, but that's exactly what I did afterwards. I lofted them together. I should have this on so you can see the interpolated. Those are the points that I'm playing with. Those are the interpolated curves. Those are the lofts. And then I've got a little tiny thing happening here that once I have a surface, I want to be true to that surface. I'm going to put everything on. Maybe not. You put on your surface, and you basically build, you construct a domain 2. Then you're going to use the ISO trim after reparameterizing that surface. You're going to deconstruct your BREP. You're going to find a point on it that actually is, what I've actually done, this pretty interesting thing, is I've taken my full surface, and maybe I'll have to simplify this to show you it. Taken my full surface and found a point within it that actually goes right to the center of that surface. And that's to locate a normal. It's a pretty simple technique. I've got to run through it, and I've got something that's gotten old here for my Mac. It's probably the version 5, but these things still work as a multiplier. But I'm extruding away from surface closest point that's listed to the finding the vertices, and that's why I had to choose number 2 vertices, because when I have this and I subdivide the domain into the ISO trim, I'm going to have to find these points, and I'm going to want to locate just that point, the one that's in that location of it. And of course, I could change that by changing this number. So it's interesting to have a number slider from 0 to, let's say, 3. Actually, I'll have to do, 0 to 3. And we'll see what comes up. I hope that doesn't get, that'll give me 0, 1, 2, 3. And that'll allow me to change the index of this point and have a play of that on the surface. And I'm going to stay with my 2 because that seemed to be working. Then I evaluate my surface to that point, and I have a small multiplier of the normal to bring up the extrusion. Then I have a little bit of control over that. So if that's not totally understandable, I totally get it. It is a pretty interesting form. You could start bullioning in on a pattern on that surface, spheres and other things that you can boolean. What is it called on here? The transfer, the intersections, boolean. I don't know what they call it. Not intersection, solid difference they call it here. Basically, you could make some negatives within that form, which could be interesting. What I'm going to do to finish it up is pretty simple. Hopefully, I can do it without too much problems. We're 5 minutes in. Is I just want to mirror that object transformation fairly quickly. Mirror. I'm going to grab that. I'm probably going to grab that in the X plane, XY plane. No, XZ plane, maybe. I could be wrong with that. There we go. I just mirrored it over here. So I've got something to play with, and then I can pull in a join brep as long as it's kind of coming together. I could grab my extruded form, and I could grab with shift my other one. Oops. And with that, I could not delete, just take the preview off, and now I've got something that I can actually look at. And that gets to be a pretty interesting, fun toy. I'm going to shrink it down. You're going to see what happens, and we'll bake it at different iterations. I've gone further in another script, and I'll take this one too, but we're already over 6 minutes with this exciting morning introduction. A little bit of chaos on Saturday morning. I hope you enjoy these kind of crazy scripts, but look at this wonderful wing form that you can start to bring organically onto piped curves and other things with different maths. And what a way to realize that your forms are being dictated by and totally manipulated by yeah, good luck making these in Rhino. I mean, like, you could try, but it's like good luck being able to change them in Rhino and having such an immediacy of going in here. Let me grab out of here. I should try and shrink that screen so much. I'll just make it full body of that, bring it over into here, and let's just double click on here and see what happens if we divide x by 3. Still haven't messed with the script. You can see we've changed it that way just by playing in the maths. And I think once you start going into this and you grab your old calculus books, you're going to be getting yourself into trouble and having a lot of fun. Now you apply this to simple form, not a simple form, but a form that's not going to change too much. Initially, you could apply it to any type of product design, any type of automotive design or gadgetry or engineering. And I think you've got pretty cool parametric controls. So start with somebody's tutorial on how to build a simple car. Take every aspect of lines and curves of that and make it parametric. Apply some very simple maths to it or some simple trig to it. And you've got the power to make some incredible shapes and forms that you never, ever would be going to, let's say, into Rhino. Let me just do a quick bake. I'd never be able to without Grasshopper. I know I wouldn't be able to go into here and render out some pretty killer forms like that. And I'm just going to put it on here and leave that. I don't think I'd be building these forms uh, as quick as I could from a little bit of math and logic to going in and understanding a little bit of trigonometry. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's 8 minutes of fun. I'll keep taking these into advanced trig demos. Super excited about this one. Just crazy excited. And I'm just going to take an EMAP to check out what this sucker looks like. Better select the whole surface, hit enter, and there you go. You've got a pretty awesome thing that I am so eager to take into printing and then pull it into a sand mold or a shell cast mold and turn these into cast metal objects. What a gorgeous thing. All right. Thanks.